Hey folks, Dr. Moji here, and I have my good friend Ryan with me.
Hello.
Ryan has a phenomenal story that I want to get into, but Ryan, so you have back pain, or you did have back pain?
Yes, I did. It was my lower back, a few up my shoulders, but more my lower back region, I would say, would be where it was more focused at.
So when did it start?
I mean, I would say it probably was always kind of there for many years, but it also was kind of, I just dealt with it. Just didn't think there was any fix for it. It was just normal life, day to day things, just that's normal as getting older. Just
as you're getting older, you're in your early 30s.
Yes,
okay.
but still, a young adult would just you're going, growing up, you got more pains that come along because you're, older folks. They always are like, after 30, they're calling them instead of bend overs, they're calling them breakovers and stuff like that. From where I was, growing up with, so it was just I thought it was common, just normal things.
That was your normal.
Mm-hmm.
And now you work on cars quite a bit. You work on your own
cars, chainsaws, kind of, small engines. I worked on many kind of things. This is my kind of hobby, is just to kind of fix and tinker.
Yeah, which is kind of nice having you around, because when my truck was having its issues with the transmission, you kind of stepped in.
Yeah, I stepped in and just started pulling all my stuff out of the truck, which
you had all sorts of tools in the back of your truck. I thought, wow.
Yep.
But you're a go-getter, and so you had a previous career,
mm-hmm.
right, before you joined our team.
Yes, I've done quite a few things. Like I said, I worked in small mechanics for
mm-hmm.
several years, where that was kind of hunched over a bench working on stuff for about several years, and I worked in the bakery twice. So I've done that, where I've done like numerous things, where I've like done cleaning, deliveries, help fry, which is up once again more bending over and stuff like that. Just numerous things. That I wore many hats where I usually work.
Well, let's get into the story of you at the bakery and that delivery, or they were working on something.
I had a gentleman come in to work on one of the HVAC systems. He needed access to the roof, so I was trying to show him where that was, and then I ended up losing balance, and I ended up going through the ceiling. And I was luckily able to catch myself on some conduit where the wires run through and whatnot. Yeah. And that first, seemed like it had any initial injuries or anything like that. Just maybe a leg rash, because that's where I got caught.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we eventually get down. The other gentleman wasn't as fortunate. He broke a rib in the process. Yeah. But as far as I know, he's healing well now.
Mm-hmm.
But, that also kind of threw, now thinking about it, it probably did have some impact on my back, Not to say, my back didn't hurt more from it easily, but, the thought was, this is another, just another day to day. I didn't feel anything at first from it.
Yeah.
Got out, pretty luckily, just able to get down and move on with my life.
Well, that adrenaline was kicked in.
Yes.
Now, if you guys remember or have been in the bakery here recently, the ceilings are,
I think it's a 20-foot drop. If
so your adrenaline
2 stories
kicked in to overdrive. Mm-hmm. You're hanging on with a conduit, probably,
easy.
So you're barely hanging on, hoping it doesn't break.
Yeah. Because that was my first sight, and one of my thoughts that went through my brain at first when that happened was, if I fall, that's the end of me. That drop would be enough to probably.
Honestly, 20 foot, could do.
Because that's just a straight onto my back. That was where I was in land. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that's it. I have to get down. Wow. Without causing anything else.
So the adrenaline's kicked in, the blood pressure's through the roof. So you're not really focused or noticing the pain
on that. That was all put to the side.
Now, if I remember, when we first took your x-rays, you mentioned that story to me.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since, your back pain that was kind of at a low level creeped up over the years. Is that a fair
Yes, I would say, yeah. I just, like you said, got normalized to me. That was what I lived with. So just kind of put it off, just kind of toned it off, or it really didn't do anything for it, just kind of ignored it.
Yeah.
Would be the best way I would say.
And honestly, a lot of people do that in our society. They just ignore it, just grin and bear, let's keep on trucking, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously you started working here and we're so thankful that you joined our team and you've helped us tremendously. So, but obviously, part of working here, I take your X-rays and I take care of you. That's kind of my benefits, or you know. So anyway, what was your experience receiving chiropractic care?
Well, at first I didn't realize how bad my condition was per se, or like there was something that could be done for it.
Mhm.
So I was nice learning that there could be ways to reducing the pain or actually almost getting rid of it in general for most day-to-day life.
Mhm.
Because like now it just comes and goes. Like I can tell I'm ready for my adjustment
Mhm.
or I'm ready for that decompression table. Just those when they come out, I'm like, I'm ready for it. I need it.
Mhm.
Versus like before, it was just like that pain was just there, and I just kind of did day-to-day life without it.
Yeah.
Which I've also noticed it's like made my my work life a lot better. I'm happier.
Mhm.
I'm enjoying more days versus just, oh, this is a pain that could be affecting my attitude for the day.
Wow.
So
You just said something powerful, and I want to do that. So, back pain and neck pain, those pain in general, the research says that ups your blood pressure, but it also causes you to have emotional issues. That chronic pain, especially, is associated with anxiety or depression, or just generalized anger, right?
that, or it also would change what I want to do from day to day too. Like say that pain was there, it's like I really don't feel like doing this, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Mm.
So it also would affect the outcome of doing that task.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's what I was saying. Like now with it, it's like, okay, I'm ready to tackle this. I'll make the plan to do it and just not even think twice anymore about doing it. Versus like, I don't really want to do that.
Nice. So that brings up another point, because you're at our front desk. So you are like our face of the office, and I love the beard. Perfect, right? So anyway, somebody comes in and they're new and they're in a lot of pain, like you used to be, and you see how they interact, and you see they're not rude or mean to you, but they're just
No, you can tell they're not themselves. They're in pain or there's something. They're not their normal. Is what to say.
Yeah.
If you want to put a word to it.
Yeah. No, I like that, because then what do you notice after somebody has received, a handful of adjustments?
As they start getting through the process, they start getting more talkative or open up more or just be more greeting, as opening, not as a, oh, they come to the office, we're going to be seen and, we'll see you next time. It's more as we actually get to interact with them, learn more about who they are, what they do, and how it actually works for them. Because they've all, like I get all kinds of stories of people telling me like they're able to do more things during the day. And it's like, I've been in those shoes now. I know what that feeling is.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's nice seeing that it's not just for me, but it's obviously for everyone.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and what's interesting is these spine conditions, these misalignments of our spine, they diminish our nervous system, right? It diminishes who we are. It's diminishing our potential, right? And so what's frustrating for a lot of people that are struggling like you used to is they're not themselves. And I love how you said that they're not themselves at first, but now once they're starting to get adjusted, they can actually fully express themselves and they can be who they were designed and made to be, right? And so that's super cool. So lots of really cool stories. You've seen a bunch. My big question for you is, what would you tell somebody that's thinking kind of like you did? Well, it's just normal. This is just everyday life. We're getting older, so we're gonna hurt.
I would tell them they don't have to deal with that pain. Hey, actually come in, talk to you in general, or even if they're not from here, try to find a chiropractor that would be willing to talk to you, actually give you the knowledge to your level of understanding. Because I know some things are outside my world still understanding this stuff.
Yes.
But at least try to talk to them, ask questions, and see if it actually is a good fit for you. Because I would highly recommend it. Because like I said, I thought this pain was just normal day life.
Yeah.
As you get older, you get these pains, and that's how you deal with them. Just move on. But you don't have to deal with them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You actually can help lower them and make it more enjoyable.
Yeah, there's a better way. You don't have to take the pills. You don't have to do the lotions or the potions, or in worst cases, the surgery.
Mhm.
So this is a far better option. Well, thank you, Ryan, for
No problem.
sharing your story with us.
No problem.
And thank you guys for joining us.